Hello viewers, this is the McLaren 650S and we're here to find out if it really has become the modern supercar. And judging by his words, I'm pretty sure it probably has. Now that we are in the interior of this stunning car, first off, I just wanted to talk about the doors because it's a McLaren, and the way you open it is you have to pull a lever up here and then you push it up, and that's how it goes up. And I wouldn't advise putting anything in there because it would probably fall out. Although since this is a supercar slash race car, there's not much of storage in here. But looking around, there's a lot of Alcantara, very minimal leather, since leather is more of a luxury item and that puts weight. And there's a lot of Alcantara around here, a lot of yellow stitching that just goes around. Carbon fiber, since this is a McLaren focuses on so much about being lightweight. And so yeah, and I think these are the best pedals I've ever felt in a car. That just feels so nice. I don't know if you can hear that click. And the nice thing is that it's a rockers pedal shift system, so like you can actually use both pedals for going up and down. So with plus, it's explanatory like how you do in a normal car. So with plus you just go up and down, but then you can also press it down to go down some gears, which is actually a very smart idea, like if you have your hands full or something. So looking here, you have your old infotainment system. I don't know if I can try to switch it on. I can't really use it right now, but it's not that good. I wouldn't say it's that good, because after all, this is a supercar and not many focus on the luxury items that you need when you're driving very fast on the track. And it's also surrounded by carbon fiber. Then you got this very cool air vents that honestly look like a turbine of like a Boeing 747, which is really cool. Then you got your buttons right here. Then this is for your performance data. Well, not really data, but like performance settings. So like if you want to put the car into like track mode or anything, so that's for putting the gearbox into manual mode. So first you actually have to press active. Sadly I don't have the key on me right now, but you have to first press active, and these highlights like in orange or red or blue, whatever color that it comes in, then you can just decide how you want your powertrain to be and how you want your gearbox to be. And then here's or your active, and then launch is obviously for launching the car. Although for a rear-wheel drive car, I don't know how well it would launch, but I do hear that 0 to 60 is around 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. Really good. And it's a very minimal cabin in here. Very minimal cabin. It is a supercar, and we are now in the passenger seat of the 650S. And obviously, like Eugene said, you can just see the flipping carbon all over everywhere. There's just carbon and Alcantara everywhere. And I must say, these seats are Alcantara, but they're actually super comfortable. They hold you really well in place, and they've got quite a soft touch to them with your different settings that you have on the actual seats. And then you can move to the sound system here. It actually has quite a decent sound system once we have the key, and we'll be able to show you a bit more to the sound system later on. But you really don't need it once you hear the actual sound of the engine of this monster, this track machine that you have right here. And you are touching again on the actual air vents. These are full like 360 movable air vents. And then we just want to touch on the weird display of your visor, as usually you put it outwards that way, but McLaren you make it put it in this like this. And because this car is such a low car, it's actually at 1.12 meters in height, 47 inches. You don't actually need a massive visor because you're so low to the ground anyways. And I'd like to touch just on the seating. You sit like a proper Formula 1 driver in this car, feet way out, your back slightly tilted backwards, and yeah, it's just a very comfortable car, which you wouldn't expect from a McLaren track type of performance supercar. Or any general supercar. And then yeah, I'd just like to touch again, like Eugene said, yeah, there's a bit of storage space here. You could probably keep your phone there, but it's not advised, as if you open the door it will fall out. It's just a general like hand space, a comfort almost, if you'd like to say. And we can move here. You get your little holders at the bottom here. You can hold a little bit of luggage there. There's a bit of space by your legs. Underneath there's a bit of space here for your phone. You can't see, it's pretty dark underneath there, but there's a bit of space for a phone or something. And I'd like to say, you do get 2 cup holders in this, which is actually really good for a supercar. And this has more cup holders in the front than the Aston that we recently did, the Rapide. And so yeah, these cup holders are actually pretty good. They've got a grippy piece around them. And then there's another place here that you can store your phone, charge your phone over there.
this would be a glove compartment, or it is, and you can store, see, as someone has already, you can store medicine, you can store phones and a whole bunch of other random things that you just like to keep, but there's not much storage in there. Then we can move to the storage here. We actually have another little folder holder piece here, and as you can see, you can easily store 2 phones there, and they're quite decently styled phones. And so yeah, that's quite a handy thing to have if you don't want your phone on you. And then moving to the back here, obviously it's a 2-seater supercar. There is no space at the back really. You can fit a bag or 2 maybe at the top here if you really need. Maybe like if you're going on holiday with you and your partner or something, then you could fit 1 or 2 small baggages at the top here. Obviously, being a supercar, it's not got a lot of space in it, but I can say quite pleasingly that I am quite impressed with what you get inside of this car. With it not being a super luxurious car and mainly down for weight saving stuff, McLaren's made really good efforts in making this car feel comfortable, make you feel fitted inside of the car, and make you just feel like you're one with the car. So now we can move to the actual outside of the car and look at the stunning orange of this beautiful car and just talk about the engine and some of the design of the actual car.
So we wanted to touch on the exterior styling of this car. So this car came out for like the 2015 model year, and it actually modeled itself after the McLaren P1. So if you actually come here in the front, it took the design of the P1, since the P1 was McLaren's second hypercar. So as you can see, it really changed from the MP4 12C, and it's a very low car, and I'll be very scared about scratching here because it's a very, very expensive piece of carbon fiber. But looking around this car, it's a very stunning car. It's a supercar at the end of the day. So you get the supercar look, you get the supercar aesthetics. So like when you pull up to the garage or the restaurants, anyone who is everyone will just be staring at you and thinking that you're the most baller person in the world. And surprisingly, this has become very, very cheap. But on another basis, I also wanted to touch on how you actually open the door. So like with most supercars, the handle is flush, so you actually have to reach under here, which actually took its design from the MP4 12C. Although with the MP4, it actually didn't have a door release. You actually had to swipe to actually open the door, and that obviously had many problems. So if you come here, there's actually a little button right here, and that's how you actually open the door. That's how you get in, and that is such a cool procedure. I don't know if it's as cool as maybe like a Lamborghini, but it's probably more cooler than most other cars. But looking here at the side profile, it's a very small car. You know, like when you see McLarens in videos and pictures, it looks like a very large car, but like in person, it's actually a lot smaller than what you actually expect. It's probably even a bit smaller than maybe the 458 or the 488. But it's a very cool car. And you can also see the McLaren disc brakes, which probably are so big that they can stop an entire elephant army of trying to kill you. But it's very big, probably very expensive since this is a supercar after all. And then looking down here, you got your 650S badge with the carbon fiber, and then you got the intake going into the engine, since this is a rear mid-engine car, which probably makes a lot of cool sounds as you just drive along. And then looking here at the engine bay, we come here, it's a 3.8 liter twin turbocharged V8, which is the same in the McLaren P1 and the McLaren 12C, which this model produces around 647 horsepower, 650 PS horsepower, since the name entails. But this was at a time when like McLaren was still a new company, so they didn't really know what to do with styling and just engine-wise. But looking here, you got your Krakovich exhaust, which you'll hear in a minute, which is very cool. And if you're very known in the McLaren world and you know McLaren's very well, only the very few will understand like how this is different to the 12C. If you look at the 12C, a lot of what this is actually the 12C, except for the front bit. But like at the rear, it still has the same design layout, still has the same lights. Although with the spoiler, it's a bit bigger, it's a bit larger. And you can see your incorporated rear brake as well. But it's a very cool car. I love this stunning orange. It's very good. I don't know how much it was, but it probably was very expensive, which I would advise if you're able to buy a McLaren, I would put paint protection for it. You know, I'd rather save money, I'd rather waste a lot of money on PPF, but then I would not want to waste money repainting this car, which would probably cost you thousands upon thousands, and we don't want that at the end of the day. But it's a very cool car, probably even cooler than a 458, even faster than a 458. This was very fast. So the 0 to 60 times are around 3 seconds to 3.5 seconds. It's very, very cool, but it's a very, very stunning car.
Okay, just to touch on what Eugene said, this is a 3.8 litre V8 twin turbo from McLaren, obviously produced from the 12C and now to the 650S, then to the 675, and at the moment in the 720S as well. Even the P1 also had that similar 3.8 litre twin turbo engine, just with either more boost, more power, or slightly bigger turbos or smaller turbos in some cases. And so, as he said, this makes 650 PS, which is 647 horsepower, and obviously being a 650S, that is why they've called it this. It has 680 newton meters of torque and 480 kilowatts, more or less, give or take. And yes, on a non-prep track, so outside like right now, it'll do close to 3.5 second 0 to 100 sprint. But on a prep surface with these sticky tires, this is known to do 2.93 seconds flat. And it actually does a really strong quarter mile, and for the year, for the model, this competing with 488 and 458, it was a lot quicker in every single way, not only around the track, not only on 0 to 100, but over the quarter mile as well, running a very low 10-second quarter mile when tested. And so yeah, this car is just a machine, which comes down to McLaren having it not only low and wide with their sticky tires, but they have a very good drivetrain and a very good output of power to the drivetrain, which also comes to the weight of the car. This car being around 1,450 kilos, and this comes to because of its full carbon tub, full carbon seats, all the carbon exterior bits all over, and as I showed you on the doors are full carbon as well. And that's one big thing with McLaren, is over all the other cars, McLaren's weight saving is just perfect. They've done it really well in every single one of their cars. It's lighter than almost, if not all, of their Ferrari competitors, all their Lamborghini competitors, as well as most of those are all-wheel drive. But this car is just super light, super powerful, super quick, and in my opinion, it should have been called a 650S, and the S standing for super fast.
As I told you before, you have to pull the lever up here, and it pops, and then you have to push it with your elbow, and then you have to actually sit on here so that it's easier for you to get out, because it's such a thick piece of carbon fiber. And so from that, get in, well, you get out, then you close the door. Probably the coolest procedure of any car. Well guys, this was the beautiful, stunning, appreciative McLaren 650S, and what a pleasure it was to review this car. Never mind just the looks, the sound, the performance, the inside of it, just everything about this is like a dream of a supercar, and something that I will definitely be working towards is getting one of these in my collection for one day. So yeah, thank you for watching the video guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like the video, share it to a friend. Let's get this to a couple thousand views, as I think this car really deserves it.